Hey folks, it is the Nutty Knife Guy. A while ago, I'm going to adjust this just a little bit, I think. Here we go. A while ago, I brought you the Buck 120, and it did not fare well against the Warpost. Had a significant amount of edge roll. And I called it a huge disappointment. And it was. But to date, that has been the video that has gotten the most views. It continues to get views. A lot of views. Most people were supportive about that video. They left comments and said that, thanks for the honest video. A couple of them, weren't so positive, shall we say. One of them was a one-word response, and it just said bull. Now, that was absolutely useless, just so people know that those kind of... Was my conclusion that it was bull? Did they think I faked the test? Or was it bull that a knife with a reputation of Buck, the Buck Company, actually failed? I have no idea. There was no context. I have no idea what that response meant. So I left it up. But anyway, it got a lot of attention. One of my replies, one of the comments, mentioned that how sometimes Buck, when they do their fantastic heat treat on the 420 steel they use, is that there's some, I guess, untempered steel that is actually left on the edge. I had never heard of this before. But suggested that after it had been sharpened a few times, then the problem with the edge roll would go away. Well, that's still problematic to me because when you're paying for a Buck knife, and Buck knives aren't the most expensive knives out there, but they're not the cheapest anyway. I got a good deal on this one for about $65 with tax, I think. I've seen them on the internet for as much as $90. Right, so you should not get edge roll out of the box, especially when you consider that $20 Cisco knives that I've tested, M-Tech knives that I've tested, have not had edge roll under the same test. So there's that. But I'm going to give this Buck a second chance. What I'm going to do, and I really don't like to do this, I have a Rada sharpener here. It's got some, I think they're tungsten carbide discs on here. You run the knife through it to sharpen it. Now usually if I get a used knife that's like really, really dull, I start the sharpening process on this. To take a lot of metal off quickly, and then once I get it to be not dull, then I'll put it on a stone. That's the way I usually do things. This one is already pretty sharp. But to eliminate any of this bad metal, this untreated metal that they say sometimes winds up on the edges of Bucks, I'm going to run this through the Rada. I already have a little bit, but I'm going to run it through just to show you guys. And then going to take it back out, cut a bottle with it, and put it back on the Warpost and see if we get the edge roll again. Now, it is altogether possible that if it fails again, it doesn't mean that all the Buck 120s are like this. This might have been an anomaly. Even with all the machinery and computers and everything that are involved in making knives now, people are still involved. They can program the computers wrong. They can get something wrong. Maybe quality control had a cold that day. The guy was in charge of quality control had a cold that day, and he just missed one that wasn't up to standards. It's altogether possible. But we're going to go check and get this one tested again. I'll link. I'll put a link, to the first review I did of this down below. Now, I may purchase another Buck 120 and see if this fails again. I may purchase another $1.20 to see if this was just one bad one in a batch. I really don't want to spend the money again on a knife I already have, but for science I might. And there's the phone. I'm going to have to pause you guys. Okay, sorry about that, folks. So, I'm going to run it through the rod. I already did this a little bit, but I'm going to put it through just to show you guys. And then we're going to take it out and test it again. And understand, folks, I want this to be a success. I want this to come through this time. I don't have anything against buck knives. I did a review and I gave away a Trailman, one of their Trail Point, what is it, the IBF or IFB Trail Points. I have one and I gave it glowing reviews. I gave it away in my last giveaway. Oh no, that wasn't a buck knife, I'm sorry, that was a K-bar. But I don't have anything against buck knives, right? I want this to succeed, right? I don't ever want a knife to fail. So we'll go out and put it to the test. But first I'm gonna, and I realize this isn't ideal, it should be on a tabletop, but like I said, I have done this before and you'll be able to get it. You can hear that I'm putting quite a bit of pressure when I'm drawing through this. I'm going to do it 10 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I should give this a strop, but I'm not going to right now. So I'm going to show you the edge. There is no roll on it now that I can see. Let me make sure. Give it a just strump on my pant leg here. That'll help take off some of the burring. Alright, so. Okay. No edge damage. If you see some there yourselves, let me know, but I don't see any. Gonna take it out to the war post. And the same with the same conditions. I'm gonna cut a couple of I'm gonna cut a water bottle with it, one of those big thick detergent bottles. And we're gonna put it up against the war post and see if we get the same kind of edge damage. I hope we don't. I actually like this knife quite a bit for what it is. Okay. So we will see you at the war post. Okay, the buck 120 retest. Here we go. That might have been that might have been me. Yeah, that first one was just me. Bad edge alignment. Okay. 2 solid cuts, I'll show you more closer in a minute. And now, let's see here. Get some gunk or something on it. That just bugs me. I'll get the rest of it later, I guess. Alright. just a little bit more. But so far I'm encouraged. Alright, some good hard swings. That gunk on there just bothers me. Okay, sorry about the gunk, and the camera's a little lopsided, but on retesting, we have no edge damage. That pleases me a great deal, and it seems like the viewer that talked about the unheat treated steel is correct, and I don't have to buy another buck 120. I'll let you see again. And we'll go downstairs and talk just a little more. This makes me very happy. Okay, well, take another look at this real quick here to verify my previous findings. And I see no edge roll, so maybe it is when buck heat treats these things, some of them come out with some untreated steel or something on the edge, because once again I'm seeing no damage. So although the rada did get this very, very sharp, that first swing at the bottle was, I had my grip angle wrong and the blade just glanced off instead of biting. That was me, not the knife. So I'm going to put this on a stone and strop it a bit to refine the edge, and I have to revise my initial finding of the knife. I was disappointed at the beginning, and they really shouldn't have inferior steel on the edge out of the box. I stand by that remark, but once you remove that steel from the edge, it seems to be quite good. I was actually swinging harder than normal at that war post, because if your knife is sharp, you shouldn't have to swing for the fences every time. You should let the knife do the work. And okay, I am going to inspect it one more time, again as verification. Let you guys have another look at it. No edge roll. Now, it just occurred to me that running it through the rada might have slightly reprofiled it and made the edge just a bit thicker in that last bevel, instead of having that super thin bevel. That might be why there's no damage. That's just a thought. I'm not sure about that, but that thought just occurred to me, is that the bevel angle is now a bit steeper and makes the edge a bit more stout. Possibly, I don't know. But the point is that there was no edge damage this time, and it performed. So I said this in my other video: if you're hunting and things go wrong, your hunting knife, if it's the only knife you have, might have to become your survival knife, which means it's going to have to chop, it's going to have to be able to baton, you're going to have to pry with it. And also, you saw I put the tip through the paces again, the tip was fine. So after this test, I would say this would work for that. And I am happy that this now passed. As I said, I was disappointed in this knife. I think that issue is something that Buck should address for someone who buys the knife and takes it out into the field, not knowing about that possible problem, could be in bad shape. Because that damage, yeah, it probably would come off with just use eventually, but at first it would make the knife less useful. And also, if someone inspecting that, they might look at the knife and think that they can't use the knife, or at least not use it very well, and that's the only tool they have. They might, just, as I did, continue to testing, and things would just get worse. That's why I kind of cut off the test in my first video. But right now, I am happy that my first conclusions were nullified. I'm not going to say they were wrong, because clearly there was edge damage in my conclusions with the information available at the time, or something I stand by. But I'm also willing to give Buck the benefit of the doubt and let you people know and let you guys know when I might be wrong. And in this time, I wasn't necessarily wrong with what I said in the first one, but given more information, it turned out maybe I was a little bit too hasty on this knife. You live and learn. That's one of the reasons I like this channel, that I have this channel. I like to talk about knives, and I will share what modicum of knowledge I have with knives, but also in the comments and things and the people I meet, I learn stuff, and I learned this stuff about possible problems with Buck. And when I buy a new one, a different Buck, and I probably will, I'm actually thinking about getting the 120 Pro, the new one with the different handle, just for the collecting purposes. But I like to have, even the collecting ones, even my collector's pieces, I like them to be usable, and this is now usable. So there it is, the Buck retest and redemption. Great stuff. Also, I did put a card up about my sister-in-law's missing nephew. I don't know what makes him to me, but Brett Mouth's 27 years old, missing for going on 4 months, I think. He's been missing a long time. If you have any information, there'll be information in the link, in the comments, and information on the card. Also, I still have a novel. Hopefully a new one will be released in a few months. The Fate of Nations Fireteam Alpha Book 1 is available now. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it on Barnes & Noble, you can get it on Kobo, which is Walmart electronic books. Please have a look at it. And with that, I will leave you with my usual admonishment. 2. Draw your knives only in just purpose. Sheathe them only with honor. And to remember, without knives, life would be dull and pointless. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have a mind to. And with that, I bid you goodbye.